Hey everybody, Norm from Tested here. We got a special treat for you. I am down here at the prop store warehouse. You guys know Matt. Matt, we're in your home now.
Yes, welcome guys. Thanks for making the trip.
Oh, it's so great to be here because you have a massive collection of costumes and props from the Marvel Netflix TV shows.
Yes, yeah, this the Marvel Television Live auction. It's open for bidding now, but it's got pieces from Marvel's Daredevil, Marvel's Luke Cage, and Marvel's Iron Fist in it.
Well, we know the production on those shows have wrapped. Like, they're done making those shows. So this is really our chance to get a sense of what it feels like to be on set with these costumes, to see them in person.
The streets of Hell's Kitchen. You know?
Oh, I was such a big fan of the production design, the costume they made, especially for the Marvel's Daredevil show.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah, totally. I think we all fell in love with that show when it first premiered. So we've got a lot of examples of his gear around us, but we kind of start over here with the first iteration of the costume. This is actually a version of it from season 3. He goes back to just wearing the red garb. But you know, this is before he had his suit from Melvin Potter. This is before he had, became the Daredevil and was just kind of the devil of Hell's Kitchen, if you will. I
mean, it was the thing that sold me as a fan of the comics on the character, because it really calls back to the designs I was familiar with the John Romita Jr. and John Romita art, and so you have that black mask that covers it. Loved how that texture, you can see its bandages wrapped around.
Beautiful, right?
And then, of course,
the Muay Thai gloves, which I think premiered in episode 2, but he went back to, you knew when it was going to be a big fight when he was wrapping up his fist to get going there.
And the martial arts on that show was so good.
Yeah.
And then the costuming, of course, leveled up a little bit as he got to the end of the first season.
Yes.
He got to the Daredevil costume we know and love.
Yes, he meets Melvin Potter, who makes him the Daredevil suit. So these versions of the suit are from what we're calling Iteration 1. This is actually an FX version, and then this is what we're calling the repaired version. So this was FX for when Frank Castle, eventually the Punisher, winds up shooting him in the head, and obviously this was the quick stitch job that was done while the other suit was being designed for him.
And these are stunt cowls.
These are mostly foam rubber. And this is actually a 2-piece, this cowl and this front mask bit being separate from the actual helmet itself there. But then, of course, this design gets tweaked a little bit to the guy that's right behind you here, and this becomes the later season 2 through Defenders and into season 3 version of the suit. Though in season 3 of Daredevil, it's worn mostly by Dex,
And this is the hero costume.
This is the hero, yeah. This is a Matt Murdock from season 2.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like, just the lenses in there alone really kind of sell it. The same way, just that mask sells the first one.
Can we take off the cowl and see how the whole thing was put on?
Yeah, so it's a little simpler this time, whereas that mask piece on the first iteration was separate. This is its own mask, its own full cowl, with a little bit of a balaclava here.
Oh, wonderful. It's lightweight, but it's really solid.
There's density to it.
Yeah, you get the fiberglass backing on the inside.
Right, you're not worried about it.
Even the trim, I mean, it's something that reads so well. You have different textures on the trim. It's not just black. You have these black stripes, but also a little bit of that tactile.
Yeah, kind of mimicking the faux Kevlar look going on here too, with the idea being that he could take a shot with this and keep going,
Right.
Yeah. One of my favorite things on him too, like he doesn't have a utility belt or anything like that, but he does have the holsters for his billy clubs over here, which I think is just an awesome little piece of gear. We've got stunt versions out on the table over there too.
Yeah, I was going to say, in addition to costumes, there's hand props, there's set decoration, there's so much. Let's talk about the billy clubs.
Yes, yeah, so a couple different versions here. This is the one version that we have with the rope, which is in the same type of holster that he's got in his leg over there. This is obviously a stunt version that was probably used on set, just judging by the painting and the cracking. It feels like this went through some abuse during production, in a good way. And then this is a hero version. This is it, twisted together. So this is a solid piece of aluminum, but it's just pretty flawless and beautiful,
That is some really, really good weight to it.
Yeah.
It's a machine.
Yeah, it feels good, doesn't it?
Oh, wow. That's fantastic.
Yeah, really exciting.
In addition to that, you got, of course, classic.
Yeah, this guy just ran back to Comic-Con. A lot of this stuff did as we're shooting, but this was a big hit for us at Comic-Con. Everybody loves that sign, and just kind of I think the Foggy and Matt Murdock relationship in general, is a big draw to that show. I
mean, it's the world building, even though it is Hell's Kitchen, it's New York, but it's these iconic places from the comics, like their law offices, like Fogwell's gym.
Exactly, yeah, we've got the Fogwell's gym bag over here where Matt's dad used to fight, and now he trains as well. And also, just talking about world building, we were talking about the first iteration suit over here. Next to it is kind of the ultimate Kingpin. This is Wilson Fisk's from season 3 when he's being held by the FBI, though, is he? You know?
Yeah, I mean, the Wilson Fisk portrayal is just so spot on. It's a great performance.
Unreal.
And seeing it on the mannequin, you get that sense of how imposing of a character.
Big of a threat, even. And like even down to, you know, we've got the painting behind him, the Rabbit in the Snowstorm that he buys from Vanessa, his eventual wife, and even down to his cufflinks here that he got from his father, which anybody that watched the show knows how significant that is.
So when the show wrapped, you guys work with production, identified items.
You know, we've been working, talking with Marvel to hopefully get something like this going for a long time. When they talked about this, the appeal was we got to go in and pull what we thought would be best for fans, you know. So we were looking for all the different versions from the hero to the stunt of the key stuff, and then anything that tied to the comics, anything that really, you know, sold the world of the show, like you're saying.
Well, it wasn't just one show, it was a series of shows that culminated in Marvel's Defenders.
Yes.
And so the first day of the auction sounds like it's all Daredevil stuff?
Yes, the first day of the auction is all Marvel's Daredevil, and then the second day is split between Marvel's Luke Cage and Marvel's Iron Fist.
And I see there are some pieces from those shows,
Oh,
so let's go take a look.
Yeah.
So what do we have here, Matt?
So this is Marvel's Luke Cage. You know, this is some highlights from that. We're starting back there with the Seagate Penitentiary prison sign, where of course he wound up, you know, he was incarcerated and wound up getting his powers through there. And then into some more of the Harlem that he represents, you know. We've got Pop's barbershop chair. We've got a few of these in the auction, but they're all, you know, very representative of what Pop's barbershop was to the show, which was a safe place in the community. You know, same with the swear jar, yes,
yeah.
and of course, bullet riddled kind of says all that it needs to say there. But such an iconic piece, and then even, you know, we've got other pieces from that area, which this was some merchandise for Luke after he became kind of the hero of Harlem. You know, like he became known, the known hero around town. So we've got this, obviously the colors here tying back to his original comic book costume, and then even over here we've got DVDs of him fighting. Diamondback, yeah, on the streets. Diamondback costume right behind you there. And even more so, another Easter egg to the films, the incident being the invasion from the Avengers, you know.
We also see the weapons and props here. They're marked with Hammer Industries.
Yeah, how about that?
Yeah.
But yeah, these are the Judas bullets that Hammer Tech made, which are the only bullets that could kill or injure Luke Cage. You know?
Wow, good weight to this.
Yeah, really cool, really cool. So Diamondback here, Willis Stryker is. We have a lot of cool costumes in the auction. This is like my favorite villain costume. You know, it feels like it's straight out of the comics, very much referencing Diamondback with the ridging here for the snake. They added the helmet in for this iteration, but I think the details on it are great. These little metal pieces here, or faux metal, I should say. We've even got some of the dirt on it still from his fight with Luke Cage. You know.
Well, you see that detail on the gloves.
Yep.
And you have a combination of, you know, what was sewn for this costume, but the hard parts embedded.
Exactly.
So completely custom fabricated for the show.
Yeah, to sell the idea that he could take a punch from Luke Cage and keep walking. You know, he's even got it's a light up power pack on the back. You know.
Well, even like Luke Cage's costume itself, that's also custom. It's
Totally.
not just something off the shelf.
Yep. No, these hoodies that we have were custom made for the show, even to the point where they added this lining in here, which is again a callback to his iconic, you know, yellow costume in the comics. But I mean, I love these pieces, especially these bullet riddled ones. Just kind of sell the whole aesthetic of what he was as a character, you know.
Now, moving on from this to
Danny Rand, Marvel's Iron Fist over here. So this is as close to the iconic, you know, Iron Fist costume as we get, but this is his ceremonial costume while he was fighting with Davos in Kunlun to actually become the Iron Fist. So of course he won this. But we've got several different versions of this in the auction. We've got a few that are just the masks themselves. We've got some bloodied ones from him and Davos. But I mean, the mask, it's very simple, but it sells it, you know? It's really cool to me.
I mean, you say it's simple, but I see a lot of complicated
that
design
too,
in here.
yeah.
You
All
get close
these
to it,
little
you see the
stitchings and
pattern.
stuff.
It is, I mean, it's firm. Like you think in the comics, as an artist, you can just draw a cowl, draw a mask, and it's going to fit perfectly. But to fit over an actor, like it is a really beautifully sewn mask.
And keep some of that comic aesthetic with just the very graphic eye detail here.
Yes.
You know? So whatever he's doing, it looks like he's scowling at you. Also, we've got if we're talking about the Iron Fist, we're talking about Colleen Wing too, which this is, I think, the first time we see her in the cage match. I love this costume because of the reference on the back. We've got these dragons on the back, her, of course, being the daughter of the dragon, kind of similar to what she wears in the comics as well. But this was, again, her first fight costume there.
There's a lot of dragon iconography on the show,
Tons
of course.
Of the show, absolutely.
Yep.
We've got the scroll over here, the prophecy scroll with the dragon. We've even got some pieces down here. This is actually...
what is that?
This is decayed Iron Fist skin.
Oh, wow.
That Davos pulled off a dead Iron Fist and winds up using in conjunction with this bowl over here to steal the Iron Fist power from Danny. Yeah.
And you guys have a bunch of cowls, a bunch of stunt pieces.
Yeah, even this one you can tell a little wear. It's got some bloody on it. Got some bloody on the bandana there too, you know.
Things like weapons.
Yeah, tons of weapons and whatnot.
Well, the ultimate weapon.
Exactly, the Iron Fist itself. This is kind of a cool piece, but this is, this is an effects piece. This is what the actor would have been wearing on his fist when they were filming him as the Iron Fist, and if you will, a couple different color combinations that they could pull in there.
Real practical lighting.
Very practical lighting effect, and then obviously they would CG over that and just put in the glowing fist there. But some other cool pieces, we've got Danny's letter to Colleen. We've got Madame Gao, who of course is a villain throughout the series, all the series, excuse me, is ready for combat as well. Wow. It's a very cool piece. This is actually a retractable version of her spear cane there.
And some stunt swords.
Yeah, and then these are Colleen's, of course. Such cool detail here, even with the different clay effects that they do here, which is how they would have made the katana. And even to the hilt being kind of a bird of prey design, referencing her family, obviously.
So as all of this stuff is being accumulated and inventoried and cleaned up here, you're just immersed fully in the universe of these shows.
Exactly. Thankfully, it comes easily to a lot of prop store employees. We've all either seen all of them or had to catch up on a season or two, but it's been so cool to just dive into these shows and really kind of live in these worlds a bit and figure out the best way to put them out to the fans.
How many total pieces are there in the auction?
893 pieces over 2 days. So I believe 150 or 450 some are Daredevil, and then, like I said, the second day is split between Marvel's Luke Cage and Marvel's Iron Fist.
And that's why you also have a 2-volume catalog this time. Very cool. All the pieces are inventoried. Some great photos.
Amazing photos. Our design team just knocked it out of the park with this catalog. I personally think, but yeah, it looks beautiful, and I think is a must-have for a lot of Marvel fans that are into these shows as well.
I know the auctions are happening August 12th and 13th.
Yeah, live auctions here at Prop Store in Valencia. Yeah, Valencia, California, August 12th and 13th. We'll have live bidding here. We'll have phone bidding, absentee bidding, and online bidding, which is available now, so people can log in and start bidding on any of these pieces.
And if you out there ever wonder how we get a chance to get up close, well, you guys are opening your doors to people to check these pieces out.
We are, yeah, a week or so before the auction. If you're in the area, please feel free to look up the times and stop by. We'll have a similar type display up where you can come and take a look at and preview all the items.
I love peeking behind the curtain, seeing how these costumes were made, getting up close with them. Thank you so much, Matt, for giving us a tour of these pieces.
Thanks for coming, man.
And can't wait to come back.
Cool.